What's up, guys? Happy Friday. What's going on? How's everybody doing under this Gemini moon? Hey, what's up, guys? So this is April, and I am an intuitive astrologer on astrolada.com, and here's my weekly forecast / coffee talk that I do every Friday. And this is where I go over the astrology of the week from one Friday to the next. And I also sprinkle in a little bit of celebrity astrology, celebrity news, mixed with astrology, astrological explanations for things and for people's behavior, stuff like that, that I usually do at the very end. So yes, how's everybody doing? How are you guys feeling this Pisces season? We're like in super full effect with Pisces season now because we have the sun in Pisces, we have Mercury in Pisces, we have Venus in Pisces. So yeah, and then we just had Venus conjunct Neptune. It's still conjunct Neptune today. I think it'll be conjunct Neptune for maybe like a few more days, and then it'll kind of trail off a little bit. But yeah, Venus is still conjunct Neptune, so a lot of us could be really enjoying things like music and movies and maybe the water, like going to a trip to a body of water or long showers or baths, all that stuff a little bit more than usual. So let me know how you guys are enjoying Pisces season. So yeah, David says, very fertile in my imagination and creativity. Yes, and David, I think you're a Pisces, right? I remember you have some Pisces placements in your chart that are very strong, maybe the sun or something. Let us know, David. And then Free Spirit says, I feel psychic energy. Yes, psychic energy is definitely a Pisces thing. Not only Pisces, but so many other, I don't want to go through list every single placement in astrology that can make you have psychic energy. Because if I just say it's a Pisces thing, people will be like, no, I'm a Virgo and I have psychic. Like, oh my God. Pisces is one of the main energies that rule psychic ability, having a high intuition, really being able to tap into information that's not always spoken. You know what I'm saying? Like information that you just get, that you channel, or that you get like telepathically from others some kind of way. All that stuff is Pisces. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, JM. But yeah, so Pisces season is in full effect, you guys. Okay, so bask in it, enjoy it, get lost in music, movies, art, any of that stuff. If you are an artist, you should be really enjoying this season. Hopefully you should be having like a lot of your best work come out. I did speak to a friend earlier who has some of her personal planets in Pisces, and that's exactly what she said. She said her creativity is like through the roof, so pretty cool stuff, pretty cool. David is a Gemini rising, and he has, your 10th house is Pisces. Okay, so you should be, yeah, especially if you have a creative career, this is a really good season for you. Yes, Michael, knowing without knowing. I just know this, right? That's a Pisces thing. So if you have Pisces energy heavy in your chart, or, heavy aspects to Neptune or planets in the 12th house, and you know what I'm talking about. And people with this energy, and even during the season when it's in the air, it's a little bit harder to be practical, and it's a little bit harder to communicate more like clearly and practically too, and logically, or what others may deem as logically. Like Pisces logic is a lot different than traditional logic, so that's why I've noticed like there's been confusion with communications with people close to me when I've been talking to people, stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah. And you know what's crazy, I had posted something the other day about the Venus and Neptune conjunction. And Venus, it can rule your material items and money. And then Neptune can rule losses. Either you lose those things by you drop them, you lose them, they fall, something, right? Or it could be theft. Pisces, unfortunately, is one of the energies that can rule theft. And also Pisces can rule, and Neptune can rule dissolvement of boundaries between yourself and others, like not understanding that there is boundaries, that you shouldn't cross. So there's an incident that happened to me on the day when Venus and Neptune were exact. I think it was 2 days ago now. I was actually starting to film the March monthly horoscopes for Lada. I haven't done monthly horoscopes in forevers. Okay, you guys know you haven't seen me do those in a long time, probably like maybe 6 months or more. I stopped doing them when my father got sick, really ill, and was in the hospital. And there's just been so much personally going on ever since then. But now the waters are calming. So I'm like, now I could do the monthly horoscopes. I love monthly horoscopes. So I was sitting there in a park right by my house, filming, talking with my mic clipped on me. And out of nowhere, here comes some punk kid. He runs and he kicks my tripod. I think he kicked it or he punched it really hard, knocked it over, sent my camera crashing to the ground, and it broke. Broke my camera, broke my microphone, and I'm just stunned, like, what's going on? I don't understand this. Like, because people were asking me, did you chase the guy? Did you get his license plate? Did you do? I'm like, I was stunned. Who does stuff like this, right? This was with the Venus and Neptune conjunction, but also Mars is squaring that. Mars is in Sagittarius, and Mars can rule anger and aggression and destruction of things. So with that square and then the conjunction to Neptune, it's like I understand astrologically, like the energy. Oh, sorry. I have a microphone like right here. I understand the energy that was in the air to kind of maybe bring something like this about. But still, I'm like, I'm a believer in karma. And I'm like, what did I do wrong to deserve this? So yeah, I've got to figure out another way. I'll figure out another way to do the monthly horoscopes. I actually have a background in, not film, but like production and video and audio and all that stuff. That's like my first passion that I like went to school for. So I'll find a way to make monthly videos again. But it's just like, I'm glad I can kind of laugh about it now, but it still really sucks. Cameras are expensive, but that's like a prime example of something that can happen with that type of conjunction. Weird stuff can happen around Neptune, unfortunately. And I feel like that person, maybe they didn't really see the boundaries. They could have been, Neptune can rule being under the influence. Maybe they were under the influence. They didn't recognize the boundaries between themselves and me and then my items, which is Venus. And just, I don't know, it was weird. He just did that and then took off. Like, I don't know anybody personally around here for them it to be a personal attack. Very strange, right? Strange things happen around Neptune. So I'm hoping none of you guys have had like the weird Neptunian week that I've had. But other than that, yes, the energy is still gorgeous. I still love the energy of Pisces and Venus conjunct Neptune for many other reasons. But I just thought I'd share that with you guys because, you know, I'm an astrologer. I try to map these things out to understand, you know. So yeah, weird stuff. Any weird stuff happen to you guys? Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. Neptune will make you believe in an illusion if not conscious. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Neptune can. And does anybody have any like interesting like relationship stuff that's happened to them? Because Venus can't rule relationships. And then Neptune can be like, you don't really see people for who they really are. And you have this idealistic point of view of each other and stuff like that. So let me know. Let me know. Vandalism. Yeah. Brother Jerry. Yeah. Vandalism. Totally. It sucks. Yeah, and someone was suggesting maybe I do like a GoFundMe for the replacement. I'm like a Scorpio and Taurus. I'm really weird about stuff like that, but I don't know. We'll see. Because I really do love to do high quality videos. I just had so much going on where I couldn't do them. Now I'm like, yay, now I can do them, and then so we'll see. We'll see, guys. I'll still figure stuff out. You just want to sleep and you're a Taurus. Ladi, haha, I love your name. Yeah, crazy. Neptune does rule sleep, so does Pisces. So all this Pisces and Neptune energy in the air can cause people to just really want to sleep, you know? Eva says, strong Neptune in our relationship. He actually had to disappear for a bit to climb a mountain. That is classic Neptune. That's so classic. Oh my gosh. It's so, oh, hey, Kate. Oh, yes, I know you do, girl. My friend Kate is here. She's one of the people that suggested that I do that. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh my God. Oh, David, you had your apartment broken into. Oh, last year. Was it around Pisces season? Because I find that like Pisces and anything that's Pisces or Neptune, and also Sagittarius, when there's a combination of those two energies in the air, for some reason, it can, like, people tend to have more theft and stuff like that happen. When our house got robbed a few years ago, it was during some transits to, my husband and I both have Neptune and Sag. So there was some transits over that, and there was some other like Sag in the air, and I don't know, it was just weird. Yeah, some stuff like that happened. Made some new friends. Oh my goodness, how weird. Made new friends and lost them in the same week. That's kind of strange. Yeah. Well, Neptune can be like fog, and you know, you kind of lose track of things and stuff. But anyhow, so let's move on. Let's move on to the energy of this coming week, and then we'll get into some coffee talk. So I am going along with the request of my viewers. You guys, a lot of you guys asked me to look at the relationship between Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Justin Theroux. So I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look at their relationship. Like, what happened? Because, you know, they just announced that they are splitting or divorcing. They just announced that on the day of the last eclipse. It's like, you see what eclipses can bring? I'm not saying, oh my gosh, everybody needs to be scared and paranoid that an eclipse is going to bring them a divorce. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that sometimes eclipses can have these fated events like this happen, to where you come to a realization about things, especially if it happens in your sign, which this is going to be a good example. So stay tuned to the end for that if you want to see that. And also, people ask me about Kim Cattrall, like what's going on with her, because I guess she's kind of I don't know, she's been going off on tangents and stuff. So I'll mention a little bit about that too. So yeah. So the astrology for the week, though, what's going on? Well, the biggest thing that's going on is the full moon in the sign of Virgo. So this happens on the 1st, on March 1st. So this is going to be at 11 degrees of Virgo. We're continuing. If you notice, if you're a person that notices patterns to things, like patterns and trends and stuff, you'll notice that whenever there's a full moon and a new moon, they tend to be around the same degrees. Because last month we had a full moon at 11 degrees of Leo. And then the month before that, I don't remember what degree of Cancer it was. I think it was around the same degree. So it's like they continue this pattern. So we have 11 degrees of Virgo. And once again, full moons, what they bring is some kind of tension that requires a breakthrough, that requires a change, like a finalization of something, to say, I can't take this anymore, something has to change, you know? So that's what full moons bring. And it's because in astrology, we see it physically. It's like the moon is in one sign, the sun is in another. Well, the sun is in one sign longer than the moon is, right? So when the moon moves to meet the same point as the sun, like in an exact opposition, opposite signs, that's when there's a full moon. And then there's like tense energy, and it's like, you know, breakthrough needs to happen. We need to meet in the middle of this opposition somehow. And then, you know, there goes the tension dispersing, hopefully. And then the moon moves along, and it keeps going, you know, moves along in the zodiac. So that's what a full moon is. So it's going to be happening in the sign of Virgo. Virgo energy and Pisces energy are very opposite, very much opposites, because Virgo is about organization and detail and all that stuff. And Pisces is very go with the flow, floaty, flowy, doesn't really care too much about details, a little bit hippie-ish, you know, whereas Virgo could be very uptight and nervy and like, oh, things have to be perfect, you know. Pisces is not really like that. Pisces is about perfectionism and idealism in its own ways, just as Virgo is, but it's still like it's different though. They're different. And what was I gonna say? So Perla says, every Virgo I've ever known is a messy person. Okay, listen. So Virgo is about order and organization and stuff like that, right? However, it's not always an order that everybody else can understand, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules the mind. So in a Virgo's mind, in their own mind, what they consider to be orderly and organized and in an order that they get may not be that way to everybody else. You know, so I've known a lot of Virgos too. I have a lot of Virgos in my family, a lot of Virgo energy. And they do things like they'll make piles. There'll be piles of stuff. My mom's a Virgo, and she used to do this a lot, and it drove my Pisces dad nuts. But she would like have piles of things, and he would be like, "Where's this? Where's that? Where's this?" And she'd be like, "Oh, she'd be able to find it." And he's like, "This woman could find a needle in a haystack." Him and all of his little sayings. He's like, "I don't understand. Like, how did you know where that was?" Well, it's because that was her order, was making like piles of things in different areas. I don't know. So every Virgo has their system, right? They have their system of doing things. And it doesn't, I know they're like rumored to be neat and cleanly and all this stuff, but not always. It depends on the rest of their chart. Of course, I'll be a nerd and say that, but it's systems in order, okay, that makes sense to the Virgo. Okay, and they're here to make sense of the world, and they want the world to go along with what makes sense to them. And a lot of times Virgo energy doesn't understand that we all have different perspectives on that topic, you know? So that, Perla, I hope that explains why you've known some messy Virgos. And also, Virgo energy can get very overwhelmed when there's a lot, because they're here to do things, right? Virgo energy is here to do and to complete. So when there's so many things around them to complete, a lot of times the Virgo brain can shut down, like have a meltdown, because there's so much and they want to do it all. So then they just have to shut it all out. So that's how a lot of Virgos can end up being kind of messy, is because they just have to shut everything out in order to not go crazy. You know what I mean? Because they see every detail of everything around them. So yeah, that's how Virgo energy can sometimes be messy and not like the classic stereotypical Virgo, which is they're always wiping everything down with bleach and everything is neatly, you know, organized and stuff like that. There's a couple different types of Virgos, okay? So anyway, Virgo, yeah, so the moon in Virgo, when we have a full moon in Virgo, it's definitely a good full moon for getting rid of things, for organizing your house and stuff like that. Organizing your house in a way that makes sense to you, your environment in general. So it's not just your house, maybe your car, maybe your desk, your you know, your work environment, making sense of it. You know, I already feel this energy. Like, I don't know what it was about today because the moon's in Gemini, it's not in Virgo. But I just felt like, hey, you know what? This weekend, we're all gonna make a team effort around this house. So we're gonna straighten things up. We're gonna organize the garage. We're gonna organize this, organize that. You know, sometimes the energy of the full moon, when the moon is building, when you see it in the sky growing, you can kind of already start to have some events happen based on that moon. I'm gonna have to really do something about this microphone, because I want it like out of view, but at the same time I want you guys to be able to hear me okay. I'm still working with this stuff, okay? But anyway, so yeah, so I was like, okay, sometime before the full moon when it's growing, you can still feel the effects, see the effects, want to start and initiate things that the full moon is going to bring to a completion and to a head, right? So that's probably why I'm already like, this weekend, blah, 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 because it's a few days before the full moon. So some of you guys might be feeling that too, you know, looking around your environment, seeing what needs to change. And it's not always something to do with like cleanliness. It could be something to do with just making sense of your environment. That's a total Virgo term. I need to make sense of my world. I need to make sense of my environment. Doing things a little bit like efficiency. Virgo is efficiency. So whatever you can do to make your world, your day-to-day life more efficient, that's what you could be working on with this full moon. So yeah. So I will quickly go through every sign for the full moon in Virgo before I get into the coffee talk. And but first, let me talk about a couple other things that are happening around the 1st and 2nd of March, because I'm covering February 23rd through March 2nd. So around this, you know, the 1st and 2nd of March, this is when Mercury and Venus are in a conjunction together in the sign of Pisces. So what I'll mostly say about that is we may find ourselves as a collective feeling a little bit more like, you know, sympathetic towards people, having a lot more empathy, worried about animals, worried about people who are homeless, or, you know, people who are less fortunate in some kind of ways, unfortunate. And what we need to be careful of with the whole Pisces season, especially when we have conjunctions to Neptune that start happening, we need to be careful of being a sucker for a sob story. You know what I mean? Like being a sucker for a sob story to where we get swindled and we get fooled, because remember, Pisces and Neptune can rule deception sometimes. So we need to really be mindful of that. And when Mercury and Venus are conjunct, it is a really beautiful energy where we may feel extra nice towards one another, hopefully, and like being more helpful, being more willing to lend a helpful hand. Venus and Mercury together, I just think of like people talking in a more pleasant way. If you are a singer or any type of artist, this is like such a bomb energy to utilize to put out some work. I would say get into the lab, get into the studio, get into your creative space, and go on a creating spree like over the course of the next like week or so. Okay, because this Mercury and Venus conjunction in Pisces, it's going to continue to be conjunct in Aries, which I'll talk about more next week. But when it's conjunct in or next week or the week after, but when it's conjunct in Pisces, though, that's more of like the arts, you know, the flowy, like you're receiving just gifts from above, you know, and energy and visions from above, from Neptune, pretty much. So yeah, it's a really awesome energy for that. So that's around the 1st or 2nd of March that it's really, really strong. But of course, with all transits, even a few days before and a few days after, you may be able to feel that energy. So JM, the moon will be in Cancer, but the full moon will be in Virgo. The moon will be in Cancer like in a day or so. Yeah, but the full moon is in Virgo on the 1st of March, just to clarify for you guys. So anyhow, that's what's going on next week. So there's a gorgeous energy. Just don't fall sucker for sob stories, okay? So I'll get into every sign. Oh, and I don't have a coffee cup today, guys. I have Starbucks. You see, I'm not really a big Starbucks person, but today the moon is in Gemini, and Gemini is like this go, go, go energy. You know what I'm saying? And I really have to go, go, go a lot, running around, running a lot of errands and stuff for other people. It's like my life besides doing readings. And so while I was on the go, and because Gemini energy, I feel like Gemini is one of the ruling energies of Starbucks, going to Starbucks and grabbing a coffee and just talking and gossip and all that stuff. That is total Gemini right there. So I guess I was just feeling it under this moon, and I just got a green tea frappuccino with no dairy in it and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's my coffee for today, is my, you know, Starbucks, classic Starbucks stuff. So yeah. David's Gemini rising. You love all of that. Oh my gosh. One of my Gemini friends is the main person that whenever on the rare occasion that we meet up, that we get to meet up to catch up, she always wants to meet at Starbucks. Always. Every time. She's the only friend I have. It's like, let's go to Starbucks. No, I have another friend who's a Gemini rising. Same thing. Starbucks. Let's meet at Starbucks. Get a coffee. Let's talk. And chatter very fast. Yeah. Love it. I love it, though. I love meeting up with my Gemini friends for coffee. Megan says she has a Monster. Ooh, Monsters. I heard those are kind of intense caffeinated drinks. Can't touch that. So anyhow, let's talk about the full moon for everybody, for all signs. How is it going to affect you guys? Where is it going to affect you? What's the biggest concerns, the biggest areas of life where you may see a change or be pushed towards a change or a decision of some sort? Okay, so let's start with Aries, of course, going in the order of the zodiac. So Aries people, Aries, sun, moon, or rising. How's the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? So this is happening in your 6th house, which could be some type of breakthrough when it comes to your health, maybe even your work. Aries people, you guys may be Oh, also, this is in opposition to the Sun conjunct Neptune, right? It's the Sun conjunct Neptune, and Neptune can rule release too. So this could be a release of something. Full moons can a lot of times bring a release anyway, but because of the Neptune in the mix, I think it's really going to be about some kind of release for a lot of people. So anyhow, for Aries people, yeah, it could be a release of a job. Some Aries, oh my goodness, if you guys have been feeling like some kind of pressure when it comes to work and like, you know, like the job isn't fulfilling for you anymore, especially because this is also making a kind of a wide trine, but still a trine to Saturn and Capricorn, which for Aries people, that's in your house of your career. So Saturn up there is having you work really hard in your career, your social status and all that stuff, your title. And then maybe the job that you're doing doesn't really match with that. Okay, doesn't match with who you want people to know you as when they say your name. Okay, so because of that, a lot of Aries people can be quitting jobs, or maybe there could be a release from a job that's beyond your power, but something good can come out of it. Maybe it can lead to some new opportunity, and maybe it needed to be released anyway because it was just driving me bonkers. Okay, for some Aries people, it could be that you make a decision about your health. These are popular moons, like a full moon in the 6th house, for letting go of old habits, like even a diet, bad diet, starting a new one eventually, you know, letting go of, yeah, other bad habits and vices that you may have. So yeah, Aries, if you have any of those, it could be the time, So next up is Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. How's the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? Well, this is in your 5th house. So this could be something in regards to maybe like romantic relationship that it's time to release it. This could be a creative thing that you've been doing or wanting to work on and finally put out there. Maybe you've been working on a project, Taurus, and you have to decide whether to let it go and just, oh, it's not going to work out. Just really, Tauruses, we can stubbornly hold on to things, can't we? So it's like, you have to realize like either to let it go and not stubbornly cling to it, or to make it work and put it out there. Okay, because this is in the opposition to the Sun and Neptune and all this stuff in your 11th house, which is the internet, which is social media, which is websites, all that stuff, Taurus. So it could be that type of decision. 5th house is also being an individual versus the 11th house, which is being a part of a group. So some Tauruses, you may come to a decision that you need to venture off on your own, do your own thing, rather than be a part of a large group of people and represent them, or just do something more to kind of show your stuff, as an individual, instead of like, being in a crowd and hiding in a group. You know what I mean? It could also mean something regarding your children, that you have to make a decision, like a tough decision regarding your children, Yeah, it could be something about that too for Taurus people. So it's either lovers or creative stuff that you're doing, or your kids. There's going to be a breakthrough, going to be a decision. So good luck to my Tauruses. So next up is Gemini, sun, moon, or rising. And I need another drink of my tea. Speaking of Geminis and Starbucks and all that stuff. Oh my goodness, Riz, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm really sorry. I wish them the best of luck. Riz said that her mom is a Taurus sun. She thinks that her mother and father are coming to, their relationship is not going so well. Yeah, full moons can bring a decision about relationships a lot of times too. So I wish them all the best. But anyway, so Gemini, this full moon in Virgo is happening in your 4th house. So for Geminis, this is a decision based around your family. So maybe your family, the home that you guys live in, or whatever place you guys are living, or you yourself, even if you don't have a family that you take care of, this could be the home that you live in, where you live. Is it comfortable? Is it secure? Is it up to your standards and your expectations, or whatever? If it's not, then some Geminis may make a decision to finally just move to a different place. This could be also a decision that, because on the opposite end is your 10th house, where the sun and all the stuff are at in the sign of Pisces. So for Geminis, you guys could be really focused on your career right now, but then there's something that's going on in your family that's like, hey, like, what about us? Don't forget about us. You know what I mean? Or, hey, like, I know you're really focused on your career, making a mark for yourself out there in the world, Gemini, but there's some family stuff that you need to handle. So yeah, so some Geminis could have some major family decisions coming up. And it could be also for sometimes a full moon in the 4th house, and then when there's an opposition from Neptune with it ruling releasing and letting go and stuff like that. Some of you guys, Gemini, if you have any like family relationships that need to be mended, or people that need to be forgiven, because Pisces and Neptune can rule forgiveness. You know, this could be a time where you have to forgive and move on, and you know, try to rekindle some kind of family relationship, or develop a better one, you know. So yeah, that's for Gemini people. Best of luck to you guys. So next up is Cancer. Cancer, sun, moon, or rising. How is the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? So this is happening in your 3rd house. So this is how you get around day to day, how you move about, which means, like, you know, do you drive, do you walk, do you ride your bike, do you take public transportation? This is also like small groups of people that you deal with. Sometimes 3rd house can be like co-workers and stuff. It's like people that you see every day, you know? It could be people in your neighborhood and stuff like that. But anyhow, I would say Cancers, since any lunar event, you guys are ruled by the moon. So any lunar event can bring some kind of change to you, and the change could be emotional. Like, I have a best friend who's a Cancer, and I'm telling you, every full moon, every new moon, every eclipse, she's texting me like for advice and telling me how she feels. She feels everything as a Cancer that has to do with the moon. So I'm sure the rest of you guys can be like that too. So this full moon, even though it's in your 3rd house, that's not the most emotional area of life. You guys could have an emotional decision that you make. It could be maybe to, you know, to change up your environment in some sort of way, like the people that you're around all the time, like even neighborhoods. I have seen people move when they have a full moon even in their 3rd house, and they move to another city or to another neighborhood. So some of Cancers could be going through that. It could be something in the lives of your siblings that changes, or a relationship with a sibling that you have to, you know, try to mend or improve. Or I would say Cancers, try not to get into fights, emotional, heated fights with people during this full moon, because sometimes that can happen on full moons. And this is in a house of like others, communicating with others. So your communication can be really, really emotionally intense on the day of the full moon. So just be mindful of that, Cancers. One last thing, I've seen full moon in the 3rd house sometimes bring people a new vehicle. They have to make a decision to like buy a new vehicle, to sell a vehicle, change something about how they travel around day to day. You know, something in those regards can also happen for you guys. So good luck to Cancers. All right, so next up are Leos. Leo, sun, moon, or rising. How is this full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? So this is happening in your 2nd house, which is money. Okay, money, money, money. So Leos, you could be making a decision to maybe get a higher paying job. Maybe you can make a decision to get a new job, a second job, some other way to make money, bring more money in, you know. It could be a decision that's based around whether or not to share your income with another person anymore. Maybe you could be letting go of some kind of financial help that you were getting, whether if it's from the government or an institution or something, or from sharing it with a partner or depending upon a partner. Some Leos could be like put in a situation where you're like, you know what, I have to go find a job now, you know, for the first time in a long time, or I don't need your help. I don't need your support anymore. I can do it all by myself because I'm an independent Leo. Some of you guys may have those moments and have to do that. Yeah, some of you guys can do that, have to do that. But yeah, full moon in the 2nd house, definitely something financial will change for you Leo people. It could be an emotional decision too, something maybe based around property or inheritances as well, that you guys maybe have to make an emotional decision of whether to keep something or let something go, to sell something, or, you know, still have it around because it means something to you. It has sentimental value versus like monetary value, you know? So there could be decisions around that stuff for some of you Leo people. But yeah, if you really want to change your income or how you handle your money, what you do with it, you know, this can definitely be one of those full moons that can bring that to you. So good luck to Leo. So next up is Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. How is a full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? Since Virgo is ruled by Mercury, I would say Starbucks is a Virgo thing too, in a way. But of course, most Virgos will probably get like, you know, that long order at Starbucks that's like very particular and minus a lot of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Virgos have a lot of nervous energy, and they like to be like the Energizer Bunny, like go, 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 go. Let's get things done. Let's get things done. So anyway, full moon in Virgo for Virgos. Pretty much anything in your life can change Virgo. This could be, for some Virgos, it could be you guys letting go of something that has to do with a past relationship in order to feel free to be yourself. Because of all the stuff in Pisces, you know, and then the sun will be conjunct Neptune very closely during this full moon in your 7th house of relationships. So that could be a release. That could be, you know what, finally, I'm just going to let go of a toxic relationship so I can go off on my own and do such and such, you know, that's really true to me. I want to focus on my own path rather than a partnership. And what this partner thinks that I should be doing too, you know? That could be for some Virgos. It could be a decision to maybe let go of being solo and actually go along with being in a relationship for once in a while, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, for Virgos, if you want to change anything in regards to your appearance, have a new attitude, you know, just anything new in your life, maybe go on a new and different life path or something like that. This is definitely one of those full moons. When it's in your sign, it's the time. Let me see. This full moon is if the moon's in a trine to Saturn and Cap, which is your 5th house. So, you know, I know a few Virgos that their love life has been kind of weird and up and down for a while because of all the stuff happening in Pisces. We've got Chiron there. We've got Neptune there, like long term, making things a little like fuzzy, you know? And Saturn is in your 5th house of dating, and the moon aspects that. So some of you guys could feel kind of like blocked, or maybe you feel like in regards to dating, like you want to be more serious. Like you want somebody to be serious with you and not just be there and then kind of not and float around, kind of disappear and all this, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you want something solid, and maybe the full moon can help you to see what you need to do, you know, see a little bit more of what you need to do to be solid in your romantic life, or help to bring somebody solid, or let go of somebody who does not want to be solid and secure and not wishy-washy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but also it could just be about you changing your life in any kind of way, Virgo. So I wish you guys the best of luck. So next up is Libra. Libra, sun, moon, or rising. How is the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? Well, this is happening in your 12th house. And on the opposite end is your 6th house of work. Oh my gosh, one of my Libra friends, he was texting me yesterday telling me he was having moments at work. Like, the 6th house is work. The 12th house where the moon is at is more like not focusing on day-to-day chores and work and stuff. It's like going off in your own zone and just floating there and not just being like not bothered. One of my favorite YouTubers, not bothered, honey. I love it. I love it. Not bothered, unbothered, just kind of in your own time zone, you know? So this could be a decision. For some Libras, it could be about work, like your job's driving you crazy and you feel like you need to get away for a little bit. Maybe you need to take off on a little vacation, because the 12th house can rule going far. This microphone, I'm gonna have to, you know what, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm still trying to work with it, figure it out, guys. My bad. But anyway, it rules going on faraway voyages, okay? Especially voyages to where you can just go off and relax, Okay. So, yeah, for some Libras, this could be something that you guys have to do. You know, something's got to give. Your day-to-day life, your job could be driving you nuts, and it's time for something to change. It's time for a breakthrough. So for some Libras, yeah, some of you guys may actually be leaving a job, or you may be doing something in regards to a job, changing it to where it doesn't get you so stressed out, you know? But anyhow, also the 12th house, it does rule how you get away, how you relax. It rules how you sleep at night and all of that stuff. So you guys may figure out that you have to change something like that. You have to change in order to be able to take time out and really just focus on yourself and not so much others. Now, Libra is one of the signs that tend to focus on others a lot, but you need to really get some time away. Maybe you need to break away from everybody. Yes, everybody, Libra. Okay, not, well, maybe I'll bring so-and-so along so I'm not alone. No, it rules being alone. The 12th house does. Sometimes we all need that. So maybe you need to do that, or maybe you need to change, maybe change a habit, like a sleeping habit, or, you know, do you meditate? Do you, and meditation doesn't have to mean, it doesn't have to mean that. Meditate, there's many methods of meditation, guided meditation, driving in a car and listening to something, meditation, you know, anything like that that gets your mind off of like all the worries and the stress of everyday life. So some Libras may need to work on something like that. Just take some time to be alone, and not completely alone, okay? And David says, clear those chakras. Yes, chakra healing, crystal healing, all that stuff. That could be 12th house too. You know what's good for a 12th house transit is those float tanks, especially during the Pisces season. Those float tanks. There's a friend of mine that is also a fellow Pisces moon. Actually, we have the same exact birthday, same year and everything. And he's also a Pisces moon, and he's really into like all that, those types of therapies. And he posted a picture of a float tank. He's like, yeah, I had a good float tank session today. I'm like, yo, that is so Pisces right there. So Libras, the 12th house can rule stuff like that too, just not even caring about anything or anyone else in the world and just letting it all go, like for once, to come back recharged and refreshed. So, woo, Libras, definitely some stuff to work on for you guys. So best of luck to you. So next up is Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. How's the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? Well, this is happening in your 11th house. So this can mean friendships or groups that you belong to. So this is also the internet and social media. So it could be that you guys are putting something out there, like finally putting out like a finalized project or something out into the world, you know, for everybody to see or hear or experience or whatever. This can also rule like friendships. So some Scorpios, maybe you have a friendship that maybe it's toxic or something, you got to let go. Or it could be maybe like a group that you belong to or that you associate yourself with, and you just figure out like they don't really like resonate with me, you know, like who I am and what I represent, like is not really like a part of this group. Like I don't want to represent anyone but myself. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be the opposite. Some Scorpios could find a new crew, a new tribe, a new group of fellow aliens that are just like you in some ways. You know, you guys are still unique individuals, but you guys have a common interest. You come together on a common ground for something, and you discover like, you know, this new group or whatever, and you can join in with them and really just not feel like you are so like such an individual that you are alone. You know what I'm saying? So it could go either way, but either way, there's going to be a decision that's made around groups of people that you associate yourself with. Scorpio, like I said, also could be the internet, like putting out something, like finally putting out a website or a podcast or like a social media platform, you know, introducing it or something, a blog, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, that applies. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm like, oh yeah, there's actually a lot of that stuff that I'm trying to do. So best of luck to Scorpio. So next up is Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. How's the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? Sag, this is in your 10th house, which is your career. Okay, it's your career, your title, your social status and all that stuff. So some of you guys, and this could be a decision that you make that could change your career, but on the opposite end is your your home life and your family. So it could be that maybe you want to, like, you have this grand opportunity for some kind of career change, but then it's like you may have to move. You may have to not focus so much on your family or something like that, you know? So yeah, for Sagittarians, it could be a decision like that. But this could also be Sagittarians maybe leaving a job or something too. If there's a full moon in your 10th house, maybe the career that you want, you know, same as your fellow fire signs, maybe it could be like, it's not matching, like the job that you do is not matching up with the career that you want. So you got to make a decision, like, what am I going to do? You could get some kind of offer, like for a promotion or a new position or something, Sag. And it could be like a very, a decision that really has to have things like weighed out, you know, in order for you to figure out if you're going to go along with it. You could be like at a, for example, you could be at a company, right? But then this other company's been scoping you out and they're like, Sag, we want you to come work for us. And you're like, well, I don't know, because see, over here, I have this, this, and this benefit. And then over here, I can see the benefit of working there too. So which one do I choose? You know, so it could be something in that regard for Sagittarians. But yeah, there's definitely a decision based on career. Something will be changing for you guys. So hopefully it's for the better. So best of luck to Saggies. So next up is Cappy. Cappy, sun, moon, or rising. How is the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? All right. So this is going to be in your 9th house, Capricorn. A decision around travel. I have a Cappy rising in my house who is trying to make a decision for the family based on taking a trip. So that's absolutely true. And also another Cappy in my family, same thing. So yeah, some of you guys could be making a decision of whether or not to take a trip, a long distance trip away from your immediate environment, either solo or with other people. It could be to another state, could be to another country, but it's just not like in your immediate vicinity usually when we see a full moon in the 9th house. This could be a decision for some Cappies of whether or not you're going to go after an opportunity too. Okay, so opportunity could mean a job opportunity. It could be any opportunity that you consider something that broadens your horizons or boosts you in some sort of way. So it doesn't have to be career, but it could be. And also it could be schooling, whether or not to continue schooling or start schooling of some sort, or work under somebody that you consider to be like a guru, you know, like really knowledgeable of something. Like, should I be their apprentice or should I not, you know? And yeah, just opportunities, like opportunities. I do know a Cappy who is trying to seek out higher and greater opportunity when it comes to career, even though career is the 10th house, but the 9th house is like doing something totally different, like shooting an arrow really far out there, you know? So it's like totally like, okay, it's beyond my expectations and my vision of who I really am, but I'm just going to shoot my shot type of thing. So for some Cappies, that could be, you know, what you guys experience during this full moon and you make a decision. Yeah, or whether to travel near or far, because there's an opposition to your 3rd house. And the 3rd house could be just like in your mind, like what you're familiar with, okay, the 4th house is like what you're comfortable with. The 3rd house is familiarity, like in your mind. And then the 9th house is like what you're unfamiliar with and it's new territory. So anything in that regard, Capricorns could be making a decision. Do I stay familiar or do I go to some new horizons, you know? So best of luck to you, Cappies. So anyhow, next up is Aquarius. Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. How is this full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? So this is happening in your 8th house. So the 8th house is any type of really deeply emotional, subconscious like experience or feelings. And I know that makes some Aquariuses cringe, like feelings. Oh, no, that's a human thing. And I'm not a human. Like, why are you trying to tell me about feelings for? So So anyhow, yeah, Aquarius, this could be some type of emotional breakthrough for you guys. Maybe some kind of release of some old trauma. You know, Aquariuses, you guys can be very like, your faces can be very like, you know, no emotion at all, like that emoji that has only eyes and no mouth. But you guys have feelings too. You know what I mean? People may not see it, but you guys have feelings too. And you guys can also be traumatized. You guys can have things happen to you in life like everybody else that really deeply affects you. So if you have anything that you're hiding back there, a full moon in the eighth house can maybe bring it out, you know, to where you have to face it, you have to deal with it, but it's an opportunity for healing too. So it could be a good time to like seek some kind of therapy, and don't let that scare you. Like, oh, you have to go to somebody that has like a title with some letters after it, PhDs and all this stuff. Not necessarily. It could mean any type of thing that you find therapeutic, which could be talking to a trusted friend or colleague or family member, you know, just to kind of get some things out, like that you're like, oh, I can't take this. Okay, I really need to talk about this. The full moon in the eighth house can bring out stuff like that. It also could be, oh, David says, I suggest journals to help sort through feelings. Yeah, some people are better at journaling instead of like, you know, sitting on somebody's couch and confessing all your secrets to them, you know? So yeah, that could be a really therapeutic thing. Thanks for that suggestion, David. So anyhow, a full moon in the eighth house could be a decision for you, just like your opposite sign, Leo, that's based around like inheritance of property or material things or money or something that you have to sort through, maybe with family members. This can be an emotional decision because it is a full moon. Okay, so just try to avoid like fights over this stuff. But hey, for some people, it could be that there's been an ongoing disagreement over what's going to happen to certain inheritances, and now there's this decision. Why can't I say that? When I drink tea and caffeine, I can't. I can't even say decision. There's going to be a final decision around it. That'll just be like, afterwards, it'll be like, now I can breathe. Okay, now I can breathe. I can breathe because I know what's going to happen now. And we've sorted everything out. And now it's like done, you know? It could be a decision based around not just inheritances, but money that you share with another person. Or eighth house transits, they also open up the gates, let the walls down when you have been blocked as far as intimacy, which means really allowing another person to come into your heart and into your soul. So a lot of times, like a full moon in the eighth house could be a release of a block there to allow yourself to let a new person in, you know, to share your world with, your inner world with. So yeah, best of luck to Aquarians. It's some deep stuff, you know, but you guys will get through it. So last but not least is Pisces. Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. How is the full moon in Virgo affecting you guys? Well, Pisces, this is in your seventh house of relationships. So decisions. Okay. For you guys, it could be a decision to take a relationship to a different level, have a different title, a different status. Are you guys married? Are you engaged? Are you divorced? Are you separated? Are you just, it's complicated, like all of that stuff. You guys can be making a decision around that. So some of you guys may, like, this is one of those transits to where when people say, will I ever meet someone? I always say you have an opportunity, you have different opportunities every year to where there's potential for some kind of change in your relationship status. And a full moon in the seventh house is one of them, okay? And I can't always say, oh, it will be that you will find the one or you will break up or anything. But a full moon is a decision. So the rest of the circumstances that happen to influence whatever that decision is, you know, that's up to you and your world. But I can tell you as an astrologer, full moon in the seventh house, definitely a time to where your relationship status can change, you know? Excuse me. So this, for some Pisces, it can mean that you guys have to break up with someone. And, you know, it could be a tough decision that's emotional, but it could be a release for you because we've got the sun and Neptune in your first house of you, yourself. So it could be that you're in a toxic relationship and you got to let them go in order to really be happy with yourself again. I have a Pisces friend close to me, and this is exactly what they're trying to do, is let go of a toxic relationship. And for right now, they're separated with the person, and they said, you know what? With that person's negative energy not even in my physical space anymore, I actually feel like cleaning the house, organizing it, decorating it, enjoying the energy of the place that I live now that that person's energy is out. Because Pisces, you already know how we are. Like, it doesn't matter anybody's like the energy that they're exuding, whether it's positive or negative or whatever, we pick up on it. We have these little invisible feelers, you know what I mean? So if there's somebody in your house or in your world that's like, they have to go, maybe they have to. Maybe this full moon will bring that to you. And just remember, it'll be good for yourself, your energy. You know what I mean? But yeah, for some of you guys, it could be deciding, you know what, guess what? We're a couple now. This is my boo, stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely decisions based around relationships for Pisces. So best of luck to you guys. Okay. All right. So that is it for the astrology horoscope part of this weekly forecast / coffee talk. So if you are tuning out because you don't want to see the part where I go over a celebrity chart and see what's going on, then peace. And I hope to see you maybe next week. And don't forget to hit me up for a reading. I still have through the 28th of February, relationship readings are they are a percentage off. I forgot. Sorry, Pisces brain. But they are still at a discount. Love and romance readings for individuals and couples readings for couples are still on a discount through the 28th of February. So go get yours if you haven't already. And any other readings that I do, feel free to hit me up for those readings. So yeah, now let's get into the coffee talk. So, okay. Let me just go through the brief thing, which is Kim Cattrall. Somebody asked me about her. If you don't know who Kim Cattrall is, she was on the show Sex in the City. And she was Samantha, the very controversial character Samantha, who she talked about some stuff. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. She was very uninhibited, right? Very gorgeous woman, really represented women in her age group well, okay? Because she, she's very beautiful. Anyhow, okay, so people are like, what's going on with her? What's going on with her? Because see, what happened was she was on that show, right? She was on that show with Sarah Jessica Parker and, a couple other actresses. And they have done the show, the series, but also 2 movies. And now they want to do a 3rd movie. And she's like, you know what? I'm 60 years old now. Okay, now I'm 60. These other women, they're still only 50. Like, they still have, without saying it directly, like, yo, I'm kind of like too old to do this. She was kind of hinting at that. Like, she said she is done with that. She's past it. Okay, that's a chapter of her life that she would like to close. And she said, oh, and recently, the reason why she's in the recent news is because I guess her brother passed away. I did not hear how, but, she lost a family member. Sarah Jessica Parker tweeted out to her or reached out to her on social media and said, gave her condolences. And Kim came back at her and lashed out and was like, I don't need your condolences. You're not my friend. Stop trying to pretend. And everybody's like, oh, Carrie and Samantha, not friends? Everybody's still stuck on them being their characters from the show, right? So they're like, why is she? Okay. So here's what the only thing that I can say is Kim is a Leo. She is a Sun in Leo conjunct Pluto. Sun conjunct Pluto, people. For one thing, that's why she's so uninhibited. That's why she is very raw, okay? Not afraid to show off, her nudity, if you will. And she just says what's on her mind. But also, Kim being a Leo, the eclipse cycle over the last year has been in Leo and Aquarius, and she's possibly an Aquarius moon. If she was born in the daytime, she's an Aquarius moon. There's some things that she's said, you know, in her own personal like interviews and stuff that I've heard that really point to her having an Aquarian mentality. So I think she probably is an Aquarius moon. But the eclipses have been on that axis of Aquarius and Leo over the last year. And it seems like over the last, excuse me, year and a half is when she's been like trying to let go of the whole Sex in the City, you know, that project, like not wanting anything to do with it. And now, you know, these eclipses are still continuing. Okay. And she's like, I'm done. I'm trying to close chapters. All right. So that's pretty much what's going on with her. Eclipses bring intense moments in our lives to where we may speak out more. Okay. We may cut people off. We may actually bring new people into our lives. People, I always say with eclipses, people can either be eclipsed in or eclipsed out. Okay. So she's really trying to eclipse that part of her life out. And she said that she and the other cast members were never really real friends. And she said, you know, nobody reaches out to actually call me and see how I'm doing. It's mostly like business. So she said it feels kind of fake. Okay. And what's interesting about Kim Cattrall is she has Venus in Venus in Cancer. She has Venus in Cancer. And Venus can represent femininity for a woman who is feminine in nature, and other females in your life and your relationships to other females. Venus is involved with that. So Cancer is a very personal sign. Okay, it wants people to be personal with them. Everybody I know with Cancer energy, Cancer planets, Cancer rising, fourth house, they would much rather someone come to their house or pick up the phone and actually call them. It's such a common Cancer thing to say. Nobody actually calls me to see how I'm doing, you know? They don't want somebody to tweet them or something like that. That's not personal to them. So that could be why she took offense to that as well. Like they're more about like people who are really family to them, because Cancer represents family. So that could be what's going on. All right. So anyhow, now let's get into very quickly, because I have like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 minutes left. Let's get into Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux. Okay. Oh, and happy birthday, Betsy. Oh my goodness, she's a Pisces. Happy birthday, happy solar return, Betsy. So you've got a Gemini moon all up in your solar return, girl. That means you're gonna have a very busy mind over the next year, okay? All right, so anyhow, let's get into Justin and Jennifer. What happened? Okay, so first of all, I'll just say this in general. Jennifer's an Aquarius and Justin's a Leo. So there's two opposite sun signs, right? But that's not everything though. That's not everything. But still, what I just talked to you guys about, the eclipses, where have they been? On that Aquarius and Leo axis. So over the last year, they've been hit personally by these eclipses in their oppositions, which oppositions can rule your relationship, your marriage, you know, your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. So they've been hit by the eclipses and it's kind of shaken their foundation. And then finally their foundation, if your foundation isn't strong to begin with and resistant, then eclipses will shake it and crumble it, okay? And send it crashing down a lot of times. And that's why a lot of times you'll see divorces and breakups around eclipses. It's because the foundation maybe wasn't that strong, you know? So Jennifer Aniston, Lord have mercy. Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux. Let's get into what's going on. Were they compatible? Because I was watching, I'm going to share the screen. While I'm pulling it up, I'll just tell you guys, I watched a little bit of E-News, you know, because they got the gossip, okay? But I was trying to figure out, like, what is everybody saying about them and everything. So what the rumor is, what everybody's saying is that Jennifer and Justin, you know, she prefers living on the West Coast in LA. That's where she's comfortable, where she has her privacy, and she's more of a private person than he is. And Justin preferred living in New York, okay, because that's where he's lived for a long time and he's comfortable there, right? But Jen felt like she didn't have as much privacy living in New York. And she is a private person. So why is she a private person? Well, check it out. She's got Mercury and the sun in the 4th house. So if all you know is her sun sign is Aquarius, you would think, oh, she should be such a social person, right? But this is why we got to look at the whole chart. And I did see, they said that her birth time is based on her birth certificate. So I'm like, okay, I guess we'll trust this. Okay. She does kind of look like she could be a Libra rising. So I guess it could be accurate. So a few things here. If you have planets below the horizon, especially in the 4th house is like the energy of the sign of Cancer, because Cancer is the 4th sign of the zodiac. So she's got energy that's kind of Cancer-y. Like she likes to be comfortable. She likes to be in her own shell. And Cancer and 4th house energy can be very private indeed, okay? And also she has Mars in Scorpio. Mars conjunct Neptune. So Neptune can be kind of secretive. Mars in Scorpio, Scorpio is kind of secretive too. So she is secretive. She likes to move, which is Mars, in private and in secret without being bothered by people. And Scorpio energy too, it's like private. It doesn't like strange people, strange circumstances, you know? So this is why Jennifer Aniston is a private person. She also has her midheaven, which is your public image, in Cancer. So there's like a double, like a Cancer type of thing that goes on with her within her energy. So what's up with this whole breakup thing? Okay, well, so that's why she's a private person. They said that Justin is more of a socialite and he's a mover and a shaker, as my grandma will say. So Justin, he is a Leo sun and Venus. Leo loves attention, loves the spotlight, okay? And then he's an Aries moon. We don't have his birth time or his ascendant. I didn't really watch enough footage of him to kind of feel out what his ascendant could be either, so it's unknown. But just with him having this like fiery energy, you know, yeah, he could, with his sun sign being fiery especially, he could be more like, I need to get out, I need to move around and all this stuff, right? And his Mars is in Aquarius. So that would make him more of a person that they like to take action and move around like in groups and be around groups of people and stuff. Friends is also Aquarius. Maybe he likes to go out and hang out with his friends freely, but maybe he felt like he couldn't do that being all secretive and private like how Jennifer likes to do with her Mars being in a secretive sign and conjunct a secretive planet. So I think people are right on point when they're reporting the fact that, you know, they've lived in separate places and they just cannot get down with, you know, where each other wants to live. So another thing is, oh my God, go away. So another thing is, over the last couple of years, I would say over the last year or so, Jennifer has had Saturn crossing over her moon in Sagittarius. Saturn on the moon can definitely, bring some like ill feelings towards where you live. If it's not comfortable, you can feel very uncomfortable. The moon is comfort and home, and Saturn could be an influence that is like heavy and draining and like, you know, it's not very comfortable. So she was not comfortable over the last year. That report I would say is true because of that Saturn transit. Then once Saturn moved out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn in December, I heard that she gave it one last effort, like one last effort. Let's try to make this work. I think also what brought that on was Juno, her marriage partner asteroid, is at 1 degree of Capricorn. And around like, you know, New Year's Eve, when they took that last little vacation together to try to work things out, that's Saturn was on here, like telling her, let's work, which is Saturn, on our marriage, which is Juno. So they tried, but you know what? These eclipses are no joke. Look, she's a 23 degree Aquarius sun. The last eclipse happened at 27 degrees Aquarius, like a few days, around a few days after her birthday. Okay. And then Justin is a 17 degree Leo sun. There was an eclipse at 11 degrees of Leo on January 31st. And that eclipse landed on his Venus, which can rule relationships, especially relationships with women. So there was a full moon eclipse that was a decision based on his Venus. Then there was the eclipse on his, well, it wasn't on his Mars. It's kind of far away, but still like kind of in opposition to his sun, at least by sign. It was in an opposition. And one last thing about Jennifer, people are like, why can't Jennifer Aniston keep a man? Well, one thing is she has Mars and Neptune conjunct, and Mars can represent men for women who are hetero, and the men that they choose to date, the men that they attract. Mars conjunct Neptune. Neptune can rule actors, so this is why she's mainly dated actors that we know of. But Neptune can rule disappearing, okay? Pulling disappearing acts, being untruthful, being under the influence, heavily under the influence all the time, stuff like that. So, and being unavailable can sometimes be Neptune. So she attracts men that are like that. And then also she has an opposition between her Venus, which could be love and relationships and how she acts within them, and Uranus, okay, which can rule sudden, unexpected. Venus and Uranus oppositions in a chart can sometimes mean that someone can just suddenly get bored and want to run away from a relationship themselves, or they can attract that to them from other people. She also has Saturn in the 7th house. Well, I mean, it's conjunct her her descendant, okay? And I count it as 7th house because it's in the 7th sign from her ascendant. So Saturn in the 7th can a lot of times mean a delay in marriage, okay? Or you have to choose a partner who is down with longevity, okay, and stability, which is Saturn, in order to have a successful marriage. Otherwise, it's going to be hard work, okay? So she has that. And Uranus has been in Aries for several years. And now it's been transiting over her descendant, back and forth over, I would say, the last year or two. So there's been Uranus like buzzing around here, zapping away, making her kind of like get bored, or, you know, just cause some kind of sudden unexpected feelings or things to change within her relationship, even though she is married. So that's what happened. I think the news reports are true. As far as, you know, what really caused the separation between them. It had a lot to do with their place of living and the comfort, because she is a 4th houser, okay? And 4th housers, they really need their comfort. They need their security. And she wasn't getting that, you know? So that's it, guys. I got a jet. I got to go back and run around, pick up a bunch of kids, a bunch of children. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. As always, I love you guys. You guys are so awesome for being here. And don't forget, if you would like a personal reading from me, especially relationship readings, they're still on sale only for a few more days. Hit me up. My readers page is below, in the link below on astrologer.com. And I will see you guys next week. But I wanted to show you guys also this candle I got real quick from Bath and Body Works, not sponsored. But it says unwind, and it smells so good, like fruit punch. This is like a total Venus conjunct Neptune and Pisces purchase that I made. I bought a whole bunch of these for the house so that it'll smell good. So yeah, it smells really good. Reminds me of Pisces energy. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Anyhow, have a good weekend and a good week, guys. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Peace.